Hey everyone, this is Terry with homeschoolgardens.com. I wanted to show you my new toy today. This is the Urban Worm Bag. I just got it in the other day and I am setting it up and putting my worms in there. So I didn't film the actual setting up of it because it is super easy. Actually, my 6-year-old did most of the work, and that's how easy it is. I will warn you though that this thing is big. So you might want to set it up in the room where it's going to live, because once I set it up, I couldn't get it through the door. So I had to take it apart a bit and then put it back together where I wanted it to sit. So as you can see, it's in a shower. We have a shower that is not really usable right now. It needs to be remodeled. So it is one of the few spare places we have that I can put something like this. Right now it's getting too warm out in Las Vegas to have my worms in the garage. So I would normally move them inside this time of year anyway before they bake. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually empty out my entire Worm Factory 360 and just dump everything in here. And then I'll just have this going, and I think maybe once the weather cools off in the fall again, I'll set my Worm Factory 360 back up and have it in the garage. And this guy is probably just going to live here all year round, because I don't think I'm moving it without a lot of trouble once it's filled, because this thing is huge. So it's going to be pretty heavy once it's filled. So I'm going to film this in parts because this is kind of a small bathroom. I'm not sure how to get everything in here that I need to empty the different trays. And so I'll be back with the trays to empty. Alrighty everyone, I'm back. I have the 3 trays that I'm going to add to it here in the bathroom. And here I opened up the Urban Worm Bag. Let me give you a shot inside there. It is big. Alrighty, so with the last video I made, I had 5 trays going on with my Worm Factory, and I harvested the bottom tray. And in the video I mentioned that I had a leachate problem, which is too much moisture, which is not a good thing. And in an attempt to soak up that extra moisture, I added shredded cardboard to all the trays, all 5 trays. And when I did that, the bottom 2 trays had no worms in them, which is what you want to see. However, after a month of having that cardboard and soaking up that extra moisture, I had worms now in the bottom 2 trays and all over the place, which is, I normally don't have a migration issue with this system like some people do. One of the reasons why I usually don't is because I keep my trays in the system longer than most people do. So with my system, I've had it for 5 years now, so it is fully functional, running full speed ahead. So I fill a tray of food about one tray a month. You're not going to do that as a beginner. That's way too much food for just starting out. But with where I was, filling 1 tray a month was a great pace. And so after I stopped filling a tray, I would leave it sit in the system for an additional 3 months. So 4 months from start to finish before I harvested. And when you do that, you're not going to get the cocoons and the baby worms and anything in the bottom tray when you harvest it. It will be clean and ready to go into the garden, and you don't really have to worry about sifting, except for right now when I had that leachate problem. So anyway, that is why you see some little paper bits in this tray. So this is tray number 3. I harvested number 4 earlier today in preparation for this, because number 4 was ready to harvest. This number 3, based on when I started it, I would normally leave it in my system for 1 additional month. So it looks good. It looks ready. I do have some paper and cardboard pieces in there, but if I dig around, I got a ton of worms in here too. And I really don't want to go sifting them out. There's lots of ways to go about sifting out these worms. It's really not that big of a deal, but it's just time and effort that I'd rather not take. So I'm going to put this in, and that just means that I'll be ready to harvest this from the bottom of the Urban Worm Bag pretty quickly. So Lots of worms here. And I've been digging through this a bit, so they might be hiding a bit. But yeah, they're just all over the place. So this is going to be the first tray to go in. And then the next tray is the one that I just recently stopped feeding. And then the last tray to go in is what is currently my feeding tray, my top tray. So there's going to be some food scraps in there and some shredded paper and cardboard that hasn't at all broken down yet. So I'm going to have to dump this in there when I'm not filming because I can't do this one-handed. So I'll be back and I'll show you what it looks like with one tray in. Alrighty, I'm back. That is first tray empty. I still got quite a few little tiny worms in there. My castings are still pretty wet, wetter than they normally are, and so it just kind of sticks, and there's lots of worms in those holes kind of hanging there, and I don't want to chop them apart trying to get them out. So I'm going to spend some more time a little bit later trying to clean that up. But I wanted to show you on here, these are baby red wiggler worms on this scraper. Those are tiny little babies. Go, and in here, this is one tray. So it barely touched it. You can see on the side we got some worms hanging out that just kind of fell to the sides. And once I get everything in, I will make sure they're not hanging out on the sides anymore. So there you go. Now I'm going to dump tray number 2. Alrighty, second bin is in. This is what it looks like going down there. I wonder if I can get, I need to get better light here, but yeah, all those worms. Those are red wigglers. All of my worms are red wigglers, and I've been very lucky that I haven't had any pot worms. I haven't had any contamination with blue worms or anything else. So look at all those. That is so cool. I usually don't dig through my bin because I don't want to disturb them. I just like them to do their work. When I was new, it's easy to just dig through and play and look at them and watch them, but I think it disturbs them, and I found, at least for me, when I left them alone, they were the most productive. So they made castings faster, they went through the food faster, and it was just better. So this is a rare treat where I get to dig for a little bit, because no matter what I do, just dumping the trays in there is definitely disturbing to them. So I don't mind if I get a couple handfuls. So that's cool. Alrighty, this is the final tray that's going in. This is the tray that I've been feeding. You'll see part of it has shredded newspaper, part of it has hand-torn cardboard. This cardboard is what I've been picking out of all the trays that I put when I put this in there to absorb the excess moisture. So normally I don't use this. I did just score a paper shredder that is big enough and strong enough to do cardboard, so I'll be using more of that, but this is too tedious for me to deal with up until now. So usually what I would do is I'd fill the whole tray, cover it with dry shredded newspaper, black and white only. I don't use color newspaper, and normally this would be over the whole tray as a covering over all the food. So let me just show you, this is where I last fed down here. The little white pieces are ground up eggshell, which is a buffer, which helps balance the pH so it doesn't get too acidic. You can see I still have red bell pepper skins. There's a carrot piece. It's very squishy. And here, these are torn up egg cartons, paper egg cartons. I use those as bedding that I mix with the food. I'll do another video about how I feed, but bedding, you can never go wrong with bedding. You can you can have some problems if you put too much food in there. So always err on the side of too much bedding. And so that's what you're seeing here, a lot of bedding. And then this is a side that I slowed down feeding a lot. Oh, there's some worms. Recently in this bin when I had that moisture problem. So, alrighty. Well, let me get that dumped and then I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. And there is the final tray that went in there. See, I still have lots and lots of room. That was 3 trays from a Worm Factory C360 going in there. The top tray, the one that I just put in there, was the one that I'd been feeding. I hadn't been feeding it long. It was a fairly new tray, so there wasn't a whole lot of food in there. But you'll see some cardboard, some food here, and I am just getting such a kick at digging through this. That's not something I normally do. I'm going to have to contain myself and not come in here every day and take a peek. That is just too cool. I'm super excited about this, about my new toy. Alrighty, so there you have it. I got it all set up, ready to go, super easy. My 6-year-old built the frame in just a few minutes, and it has a new home in a shower that we're not using. So I'm going to have to get another light in here for doing videos, but there you have it. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.